Hey guys, it's Jessica. Today we're gonna do a video I've been toying with doing. I've seen some of my favorite YouTubers here on YouTube do it, redundant. Emily Noel, Kelly Gooch, Samantha March, all three have done this. I will link it below. I think Emily Noel kind of started it in the beauty space. Basically what it is I asked you all what your hot takes or unpopular opinions about makeup trends, the beauty community on YouTube, brands, products, this whole world that if you watch a lot of YouTube beauty videos, you know what I'm talking about, that entire space. Maybe thoughts or opinions you have that are controversial to a certain extent. So these are juicy. These are juicy. Some of them I literally was showering today and starting to get up in arms about. And so I was thinking a good title for this would be something like, Let's Argue, because the reality is it's all in good fun. It's just makeup, it's just brands, it's just, none of it's that deep. But like some things I kind of disagree with you guys on, but that's what's fun about this. So please know if I disagree with you, I love you. That's the beauty. We have different opinions and that's how it should be. And I think we're now living in a world where you're not allowed to have an opinion, because if you do and it's against the mainstream opinion, you're canceled and so we should have a space for chill disagreements, don't you think? So anyway, here we go. Let's dive in. I'm a little nervous to do this video. I wanted to start with this one because it was one I've not heard or thought about. She said, I feel like some beauty gurus and especially lifestyle YouTubers have gone from I'm just a normal person just like you and I found these cool things to try and show you, and they've basically changed to my opinion's more valid, I'm an expert on everything, and I'm popular because I'm a genius in all things beauty and life. This might be too unpopular, but I just feel like people who aren't experts or educated in any topics now are super high and mighty with their opinions on everything. I think that when a lot of us that have been here a while started YouTube, absolutely it was the idea of we just want to, these are things I'm liking right now, let me share why I personally like them. And I think we're living in a space where you're right. So many people that maybe aren't actual makeup artists, myself included, kind of pretend they are. Not that they're saying they are and they're lying. That's not what I mean. I mean like they'll give you tips and tricks as though they're makeup artists, okay? Now, the reality is what's fun is I do like watching YouTubers that I personally like give tips and tricks they've learned, because the reality is even if you're not an expert on something, you could still have picked up tips and tricks from other people. I mean, the reality is a makeup artist learned from somewhere, something at some point in time, you know? But I do agree with her to a certain extent, because I do feel like there are a lot of people that start out and they really have no background in it. And again, I have no background in makeup. I've taken some stage makeup class. I am not a makeup artist, but I hope that I've never came across as though I do know everything, because I don't. The thing I have become an expert in is editing. No, no, I worked hard on my editing skills, but I was joking. Guys, calm down. The thing that I have become an expert on is reviewing products. I have tried so many, so I do feel confident when I say, I think this is a great powder bronzer. I think this is a great liquid highlighter, because I've tried a lot. So I do think some credibility should be given to YouTubers that have been doing this a long time, that have been reviewing makeup, whether you're a YouTuber, blogger, whatever in the world you are, or just as someone that really has tried a lot. So I think it's kind of a balancing act. And I know for me, I'm gonna come across as high and mighty in this whole video. And please know that I'm not trying to be, but I'm trying to defend myself. I guess I agree with her, because I do think a lot of people I watch, I'll kind of cringe when they're telling you how to do stuff, but I'm like, but I don't believe that you know. Maybe you feel that way about me. All right, we can move on. But another part of that is that, for example, if I recommend a foundation and I get a lot of comments that say, Jessica, you should really look at the ingredients of that. The ingredients of that are not very good. So suddenly I'm starting to do a deep dive into little bits of ingredients, because again, I'm also not a dermatologist or anything like that. And so when I try to share that kind of stuff, like some of my skincare videos, I'll try to share some of the ingredients and what I know that they do, not because I'm a dermatologist, but because I've done research, right? So for a YouTuber that's trying to be as educated as possible, we can't fault them for that either, because if they're trying to not be an expert on, let's say, skincare ingredients, but they're trying to pass across information to you as best as possible, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So again, it's just a balancing act. But I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay, this is one I've thought a lot about. Most of this is a gray area, and that's something important to keep in mind in life, that there's possibly a gray area. This person said cancel culture and the fact that everything is black and white, nothing is that simple. I have gotten so many responses about cancel culture. Here's my 2 cents. I think that there have to be levels to things. Not every single wrongdoing that someone does in the world, whether they're a celebrity, a YouTuber, there's a gradient to it. Some things are worse than others, right? But we are, again, living in a world where we all get so offended so easily or so upset about little things that we decide to cancel someone for something that maybe isn't equal to like sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a gradient, and I think we've lost sight of that. And especially in social media where it's so easy to mouth off to someone online because you're not face to face, something you probably wouldn't say to them face to face. Let's say it came out that I'm just making this up. I swear. No, I really am. Let's say it came out that in college I cheated on a test. And that got through the interweb, and all of you guys found out about Jessica cheating on that test, okay? Suddenly, I would be canceled by so many people, not everyone, but so many people at the same rate that someone that had like a sexual harassment scandal, they're also canceled at the same rate. Like that does not equate. It doesn't equate. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is we have got to have a lens of understanding on. If someone makes a mistake and they're genuinely like, guys, I've changed. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was wrong, or I've learned since then, we have to move on. In real life, if your friend did something to wrong you, most likely you would eventually forgive them. Now, some things, again, there's that gradient. Some things are worse than others. But we have to be human to each other. Even though you may not have ever seen me face to face and we've never interacted face to face, if I do something wrong and I'm genuinely like, gosh, I'm so sorry, we have to move on. We have to forgive. I mean, we have completely lost sight of that, and that makes me sad. Now, again, when we're thinking about makeup and the beauty space, if a higher up at a brand does something wrong, and you, especially maybe it's an issue that you really feel strongly about, you have every right to not shop with them. If you want to, again, if you want to boycott the brand, you want to share that, okay. But it doesn't mean that if someone else likes them, because that's not a hot button issue for them, it's not fair for you to attack that person for supporting them. They're not the one that did the wrongdoing. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, just keeping in your mind that we're all human, that not all mistakes are equivalent mistakes, and that we just have to have a level of understanding. It's really gotten to a point where I'm like, at some point something has to break, because no one can do or say anything without getting attacked by someone. It's just silly. And I don't mean just like trolls. I mean normal people saying, well, you really should be doing it this way, or well, you really shouldn't say it that way. I'm like, oh my gosh. Something Tyler and I have talked about a lot lately, and it's been on my heart, and I wanted to mention it in this video. It seems appropriate, that I feel like in our world, so many people are so woke. And I'm putting this in quotes for a reason, because I think a lot of people are outspoken in a great way, and they're fighting for causes they believe in the right way. And that's amazing. That's what the world should be. Let's say, for example, I am trying to be environmentally conscious, because I am. And I think all of us are doing our best. We're doing our best. I use reusable grocery bags when I remember to bring them in. Do I sometimes forget? Yep. Because I'm a human. So for example, in my Target video, I was talking about I'm using a reusable straw. I just got it because I have Invisalign in and blah, blah, blah. So I was showing that in the video. And then when I went into Target in my Target video and came out, I had used plastic bags, because guess what? I'm human and I make mistakes, and I forgot my reusable grocery bags. I got roasted by so many people that are like, well, it's really cute that you're using a reusable straw, but look at all that plastic in your bag. I'm like, we are on the same side here. I do so many things to be environmentally conscious. We compost everything that we can compost. We recycle everything. Plastic bags, when we do have to use them, we have them in a box in our garage that we go and recycle. I even use reusable produce bags. I've tried so hard to be as conscious as I can, and yet people on the same side as me that are fighting for the same thing are picking fights with me. And that's, I'm making this personal to explain it to you, but this is rampant. That people that are like, well, you're not fighting hard enough for the cause that we're both fighting for. Or, well, you're not doing everything perfectly for the cause that we're both on the same side of. It doesn't make sense. Why are we fighting with people that we're on the same side? If we both genuinely want to save the earth, picking each other apart about little tiny things that you're not doing perfectly the way that they are is not the way to get there. It's not the way to get there. And I think there's a difference between constructive criticism, like, hey, have you ever thought about using reusable grocery bags? It's the way people say it. Now, I want to say this because I know I can't find it, but someone had written about that exact thing, the reusable straw, the thing. And I'm not attacking you because you said it in a really nice way. I'm just saying generally, that was a good example for me to bring up. But generally, people can be so rude to people that are fighting the same cause as they are. And it's not the way to get to the end result you're looking for. And frankly, it's wasting time and energy that could be spent on, if you really are trying to fight for the earth, let's say, go use that energy doing something else, writing representative, calling, going out and protest, whatever it is that you want to do. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. That's been on my heart like so much lately. All right, this person said, when influencers rave about a product in one video, then you never see it again. So fake and frustrating. I see two sides to that. I agree, because there are plenty of YouTubers, ones that I love. I'm included in this. I am guilty of this, where I'll say, this is a really good blush, but then you maybe never see it in a video of mine again, or maybe eventually I declutter it. I think that one thing that is known by people that do this, what I do, and maybe not as obvious to viewers, is that if you're trying a lot of products and you know what makes a good blush, if I can try a blush a few times and say, this is definitely a good blush, it lasts all day, it looks great on the skin, I've tried it a couple days, that's kind of enough. We've kind of done our job. Now, obviously, you guys know if you've watched me a while, I am not a huge fan of first impressions. I still do them from time to time, but I like the follow through, and I think it's necessary. But there are certain types of products that you can kind of know pretty quickly whether it's good or not. I don't think every product is that way, but I do think there are some that you can, especially if you've been doing this a while, you know what to look for in, let's say, a good blush or a good lip gloss. So I see two sides to it, in that I agree it can be really frustrating, because you're like, wait, you said you love that, why aren't you using it? But if you have 25 blushes that are really, really good and you really love, well, odds are some of them that you really like, that you've recommended, are ones that are gonna kind of get pushed by the wayside, not because they're not good and that we were lying to you, but really because I only have two cheeks. So what I'm trying to say is, you can't use it all the time. There are so many good blushes that I could name probably 60 blushes that are fantastic quality, they're really good, drugstore and high-end, but I only own a few because I can only use so many. So I hope that kind of sheds light on that. I do think some YouTubers are probably guilty of, I don't know, maybe lying about it. I don't get what the benefit would be unless there was, I don't know, money being exchanged on the down low or something, but I've not come across that. But I get that feeling. Some of you guys have probably felt that about me, like, Jessica, you just said you love that. Why are you decluttering it? Why are you? And again, it usually goes back to, I can't keep a collection of 100 blushes. I don't want to. I have no desire to anymore, because then everything gets lost in the shuffle. I hope that clears that up. And again, I don't think every YouTuber does it the same, but I'm just kind of sharing my 2 cents on that. This is so fun reading through your guys' things. I mean, it really is just like illuminating what you guys are thinking behind the scenes, you know? This person said, mental health is more important than constantly producing content. If you need a mental health day or week, do it and don't apologize for it. And a lot of people were agreeing with her on there. Again, there's 2 sides to it, where if you need time off and you go and you have a schedule. Like for me, I say I upload 3 to 4 times a week. I aim for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I never really push that because I know that things happen. I have a kid at home. Things just happen. So I try to hold myself to it, but I just don't apologize to you guys. And it's not that I don't care, because you guys know I do. I just feel like it's unnecessary, because I know you guys would understand, and I don't really need to. But I know that some other YouTubers really feel that strong pull to apologize to you guys, because if they always upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they know people are like, where are you? Are you okay? Did you not put up a video? I think that's more where it's coming from, that they feel that they owe it to you guys to explain where they've been, to explain why they haven't done it, etc. So again, 2 sides to it, gray area, which is a beautiful thing, because there is a gray area in life. Some of us have forgotten that. I agree that they shouldn't feel that they have to apologize or explain themselves. This is an interesting one, because it touches on a sponsorship I do, what I've been doing this entire year. So this person said, I wish beauty YouTubers would take more non-makeup sponsorships. Companies like Audible, HelloFresh, other generic YouTube sponsorships. This way the YouTuber can make a living without impacting their opinion of a makeup product, basically. So basically, instead of being sponsored by a makeup brand, being sponsored by something non-makeup. I've seen a lot of comments both ways, because some people are like, why would you do a sponsorship about this when your channel is mostly makeup? That's the crux. That's where a lot of us as YouTubers sit. Because we know that half of you guys would prefer us to do non-makeup ones, because you feel like, well, that way if they're talking about makeup, we know that that's not affecting what you're saying. The reality is it shouldn't affect what you're saying regardless, but we don't live in a perfect world, and some people accept sponsorships that they don't really believe in. I've been guilty of it long ago. I have been. And I've talked about that ad nauseum on my channel, where I just kind of learned. I learned like, oh, Jessica, you can say no to things that you don't feel 100% about. One example is I had a sponsorship with a very, very popular company with a very, very popular launch, and I had initially accepted it and I'd been trying it out, realized I didn't really love the products. So I contacted them and they were surprisingly understanding, and they said, no problem, we'll void the contract. We understand. We don't want you to have to go against what you genuinely think about something. That's huge. Brands did not used to do that. I think they're realizing that people are holding them accountable to a certain extent, and it's kind of nice in that way, because they can understand suddenly where we're coming from, where I'm like, I really don't like it. I initially did, and that's why I agreed, and now That's really cool. So that's a huge step. But what are we talking about? How did I get off on that, you guys? Like, for example, HelloFresh. I have a year-long contract with them. I've been using them for over a year. I had already been working with them before I ever obviously signed a year-long contract. I'd been working with them a while, and I really genuinely like HelloFresh. Like, I've given my mom that as a Mother's Day gift, a HelloFresh subscription, things like that, because I do believe in it. Because I have a life outside of makeup. So I don't see anything wrong. Why would I say no if a company says, hey, this thing that you already like and use, could we pay you to talk about it more? Duh! I would have to be an idiot to say no. It's different if it's a company that says, hey, you've never used us, but you want us to pay you every month. So there is a difference. And I think a lot of the stigma behind sponsorships has been lifted. I think people are realizing, you know, why is it fair that Jennifer Aniston can talk about Smart Water and be sponsored by them and not get roasted, but I can't talk about Smart Water and be sponsored by them without... Do you know what I'm saying? No one questions whether Jennifer Aniston really uses Smart Water or really thinks it's better than other water or not. No one questions it. No one questions whether Jennifer Aniston really uses Aveeno lotion for all of her skincare needs or not. I'm assuming she doesn't, but we don't question her and see, oh, Jennifer Aniston, yeah, she sold out. She did an Aveeno sponsor. Like, that doesn't happen. So I think a lot of it's been lifted because if people are doing it right, which I do think a lot of YouTubers are doing it right, they're disclosing because it's the law, you have to, but they're disclosing the proper way. And I think you guys are understanding why we're doing this. You know, making a living on YouTube can be hard based on the number of views you get because it's the ads that you're watching or not watching before and during a video, period. If I have a video that's not doing great, then suddenly I'm getting paid less that month. So sponsorships are a way that if you genuinely already like the product, I would never fault someone for saying, I really like this, and they're also paying me to say that. That sounds weird. But do you guys know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? I don't know that I am. I am in my head, but I think about this a lot. This person said, if you're going with statements, it bugs me so much when someone in the community says, you don't want that look. How do you know I don't? Maybe reword it to, I don't like that look. I could see that. I think, and again, we're all nitpicking how we all say things, and that's just, again, the world we're living in. But I get what you're saying, that, you know, you don't want that look. Can I tell you something that drives me nuts? When people say, nah, I can't, because I feel like it's going to be obvious who I'm talking about, and I'm just not going to do it. Never mind. Sorry for the teaser. All right, editing Jessie here, and I figured I would tell you, because I know if I were watching this video, it would drive me insane that the person didn't say it. It's not that deep. But when people call products like she or he, I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Like, they'll be like, ooh, she's glowy. Or they'll do it about themselves, like in the third person. Now, I'm guilty to a certain extent of this because I'll say things like, Jessica, you're crazy today. Things like that. But for some reason, when they say she or he and they do it that way, why does that drive anyone else nuts? Why does that bother me? But it does. I cringe every time I hear it. This is an interesting take on this. I like reviews, but get frustrated when YouTubers tell me what I should or should not spend my money on without being made to feel guilty about it because it's high-end or luxury. Yes, the drugstore alternative is good, but maybe I want to spoil myself. This is another line we have to toe because I genuinely think drugstore products are freaking incredible. I always have. I'm a drugstore girl at heart. You guys know that. But I also use high-end products. I spend my own money to buy a lot of them, and I do feel a certain amount of guilt when I like something that's really expensive. If it's genuinely good, I have to remember the black and white of it all is that my job is to tell you what products are good and not. And sometimes I get bogged down with, well, but I know a lot of you guys would prefer drugstore, you can't afford it. So I feel guilty even mentioning it. But I also have to keep in mind that I'm supposed to tell you whether something's worth your money or not. I'm working on balancing my own channel in that way, making sure that I'm offering drugstore alternatives if I think there is one, drugstore dupes. But I also still want to share those higher end products because I know a lot of you guys, maybe some of you guys are rich as heck and you love blowing hundreds and hundreds of dollars on makeup. I don't know your life. I don't know what kind of money you make. But I do know that obviously if I just look at my views alone on my channel, I know that videos where I'm talking about drugstore, they do better than other videos because most of us are trying to save money or we can't afford it, and that's just life. So I'm personally trying to find that balance, but you're right. There is a certain level of guilt I think a lot of YouTubers, not all, but a lot of YouTubers feel when we talk about luxury products. So a lot of people talking about how many YouTubers put so much concealer on. I think it's just personal preference. And we have to keep in mind that makeup really is. And if someone wants to put concealer all over their face and they feel way more put together, to each their own. And that's something I've kind of come into lately because I used to kind of judge harshly people that would put that much makeup on. I mean, the reality is I'm wearing like that CoverGirl in LA and I actually do feel like it's pretty high coverage. I freaking love this foundation, by the way. I'll link it below. I can't stop talking about it. It's like the prettiest foundation I have used in years. This is my skin. I don't even have my ring light on. I'm just in front of my window and then I have some light, some like small lights to the side just to make sure I look at least somewhat lit. It's just so pretty. Okay, total side note. But she was saying she feels like it kind of ages her and makes her look like crepey and stuff. And a lot of people actually brought that exact thing up. The Shape Tape Triangle Concealer, that kind of thing. Again, to each their own. My skin can't handle that much concealer. Anytime I try to do that, I'm like, nope, just no. Because it does. I've got fine lines and I'm dealing with aging signs, and that's life, that's normal. But I know that on my skin it doesn't work. So, and I don't know, I always wonder, and I'm sure you guys wonder the same thing. You know, we are in lighting. And so filter or no filter, I know there's a lot of discussion about which YouTubers use filters and not, and I don't know. I don't know the answer. But I do wonder with certain YouTubers that do wear full faces, like full coverage makeup, how does it look in person? Don't you wonder that? How does it look in person? Does it look just that flawless? Does it look that flawless from a few feet away, but then you get close and you can see it? Because I know for me, when I'm looking in a mirror and putting on something really, really full coverage and like lots of concealer, I'm like, oh, up close, it looks like a lot. And again, it's just your personal preference, what you like. This person said, people should stop complaining about certain YouTubers and just support the people they like. Yeah, and it's hard because obviously like drama channels exist for a reason. People love hearing about drama. I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I know that most of the drama on there is fake, but I still watch it. You know what I mean? I am intelligent enough to know that it is absolute trash television, but I 100% totally guilty pleasure watch it when I'm like working out. I just do. And we all have our own things, and guilty pleasures aside, it's so hard because there are some big YouTubers that people like to just watch because their lives are so extravagant and so ridiculous and they're so drama laden that it is almost like reality TV. It is reality TV. But I agree. I mean, at a certain point, we have to just kind of say, okay, if you really don't like that YouTuber or those YouTubers, you just gotta unsubscribe and move on. But there is something to be said. It's juicy. I know. We shouldn't be gossiping. I'm telling on you. I'm telling your mom. I love this one. Everyone takes it way too seriously. Maybe that's the lesson here. We all take all of this too seriously. Now, for me, it's super personal because this is my job and like my world, and I'm thinking about it all the time. I mean, duh. But we do kind of need to take a step back and be like, we're just talking about things we put on our face. It's kind of funny if you think about it. Like that's all we're talking about. It's not even that deep. I just hate how the idea of a beauty guru has become so cookie cutter. Oh, me too. And I think that's why I've been drawn to so many YouTubers that are just kind of doing their own thing. They're doing their own style of video. But there are certain videos, for example, I genuinely love. I've never ever let go of monthly favorites. I love doing them and I love watching them. So it's always goes back to personal preference, but there are certain videos I love, but I feel like the YouTubers I'm the most drawn to are kind of marching to the beat of their own drummer to a certain extent. Now, there is the other end of it where I feel like some YouTubers are trying so hard to be different that it comes off as like they're forcing it, like they're trying to be quirky or they're trying to, but I think most of us can kind of find those like golden little eggs out there that are just, they're just being themselves and they're being real. And those are the YouTubers I end up watching every video of theirs. Because to me, it almost doesn't matter what they're talking about. I just feel like I'm listening to a friend chat with me, whether it's about makeup, maybe it's like a clean with me in their house, a declutter, what I eat in a day, whatever it is. I do find myself drawn to those. And I think a lot of us are kind of moving towards that. Because I think at the end of the day, we're all just craving authenticity. Don't you? That we just want people to be real. And because everything is so perfected in our world, and I don't just mean YouTube, I mean just like everywhere, magazines, I mean, it's been that way for decades. I think we're just craving realness. I think you can be wealthy and still be in touch with what it's like to be someone that's not. I think a lot about the Shane Dawson video he did with Graveyard Girl where she's never really shown her the rest of her house. It turns out she lives in an absolutely gorgeous home. Obviously, we know she was making good money, and I'm sure still is making good money because she's got a lot of views on YouTube, a lot of subscribers. And so I don't think anyone was that surprised that her house was so big, but it was the fact that she felt almost embarrassed because she didn't start from that. And I can understand that. And I feel like I have been so blessed with you guys actually wanting to watch my videos over the past 6 years that there's a part of me that, I have seen a level of success and I'm so proud of it, but I wouldn't be here without you guys. And so I get that. I've got the goosebumps talking about. I get what she means though, where you almost feel like she's hit this level of success thanks to you guys, but she's embarrassed to show it because she doesn't want you guys to think that she's changed because of the amount of money she now has. And I get that. And I think a lot of YouTubers face that. And we also are in a tricky situation because if YouTube just went under or suddenly Our channel was shut down and we had no way. I mean, this is my job. What would I do? Well, I would go back to teaching because I love teaching and I miss it. How did I get here from this cookie cutter? Why are you guys listening to me? I'm not even like talking about your hot takes. I'm just talking. This person said that more often than not, beauty gurus have biased opinions about a lot of products. Yeah, I agree. Myself included. I think it's really hard to not be biased. It's kind of like if I bought, and this is going to sound awful, but I'm being honest, this is the kind of bias I'm thinking about. If I bought with my own money on both sides, I bought a new Hourglass liner. Okay, well, I love the Hourglass liner, but let's just say it's a new launch, whatever. And I bought a new Maybelline liner. I am automatically predisposed to think that the Hourglass one will probably be really good because it's expensive, because I have a history of liking a lot of not all, but a lot of Hourglass products. Maybelline, I would say there are a good amount of Maybelline products over the years that I've liked, but there's also a good amount that I haven't, and I paid less. So there's a part of, I think, any of us that if you bought a more expensive one, it freaking should be better, right? Like otherwise, what are you paying for? But the reality is that a lot of drugstore products actually are better and that they're all companies and any of them are gonna try to find ways to cut corners, and that would include high-end brands. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This person said, if I come to your page, I should have no issue using your affiliate link. Simple. That's interesting. I don't know that everyone would agree with you, but I mean, I think if you are watching someone, and I'm talking about someone that you subscribe to, that you watch a lot of their videos, what is the harm in using someone's affiliate link, right? Like if you heard about that product from them and you're genuinely thinking about buying it, what's the harm to you to use their affiliate link? It's kind of an interesting thought. I've not thought about it that way. And I know a lot of us kind of have a healthy view of it, like, and especially me, if I'm gonna buy a product that I heard a fellow YouTuber mention, I will go to their page and click the link because I get it. If I heard about it from them and they're the ones that made me want to buy it, why not support them and their channel and what they're doing? I mean, I'm not having to pay to use their link. So, you know what I mean? Now, if it's a YouTuber you don't like and you don't want to support, then don't use their affiliate link. It's simple as that. But she's right. I mean, it's not really harming anyone to use it if you want to. You're supporting someone that you watch. I don't know that everyone will agree with her, but that's interesting. This person said, excessively dewy skin that just looks oily is not cute. We've got to stop. I agree. I mean, I like a good dewy skin, but every once in a while, like my recent supermodel video, I did powder after and it looks so much better if you watch that. I can link it up in the eye down below. It was so much fun. I learned a lot of tips and tricks, but by the end, my face was so comically greasy. I was like, oh my gosh. So no, I agree. I think there's a line, of course, keeping in mind personal preference. Some people really like that, but I do like a dewy look. Like I like the way this looks, but I did powder because I'm realizing more and more that I don't love the way powder looks on my skin, but you know what, you guys, sometimes at the end of the day, it just looks so much better because I do think it flattens certain things out and kind of blurs them to a certain extent. So I go back and forth with powder, but I'm on a powder kick this week. This person said, not everyone needs bronzer. I think we could extend that out and say not everyone needs any of the steps. One thing I felt like for years, I was always following the rules of, okay, then I need to put on bronzer and then blush and then highlight, have to do all that. Then, you know, eye primer and I would check off like every box in my mind, like, okay, have I done every single step that I'm supposed to do? But the reality is some of our face shapes, we don't need certain things. Some people don't need bronzer because they just look better without it. And again, personal preference. You're deciding what steps you want to do. And I had completely, genuinely lost sight of that. Like I would get ready, especially when I was teaching, I'd be up at 5, whatever in the morning, getting ready. I never missed a step. And I didn't need to do every single step every single day. And it's so funny, but I felt like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. The reality is we need to take a breath and take a step back because if you don't like blush, stop wearing it. Don't wear it. If you don't like highlighter, you don't like the way, you don't have to wear it just because so many other people, it doesn't mean you have to. But I do think there's a certain pressure, not just for YouTubers, but I think a lot of us that you watch it a lot, you feel like, well, I need to be doing every single step. You really don't. Not all of us need every step, or not all of us like every step. This one said, influencers who say they love engaging but think because they heart a few comments, that's it. That's a tricky line. For me, I genuinely, I say this and I don't follow this rule at all, but I'm trying to make it so that I'm working like, 9 to 5, if you will, 4 or 5 days a week and then leaving my phone. And it's hard because my job, and I'm not following that rule perfectly, but I'm trying to separate because at the end of the day, I want to spend time with my daughter and my husband and make dinner and enjoy dinner together and go on a walk and go whatever. And it's hard when your phone is near you, but then I feel the pressure like, well, I should be commenting. My video just went live 2 hours ago. I should be commenting back. It's tricky. It's a tricky balance. So I get from a viewer perspective, you're like, okay, we're taking the time to comment. Why aren't you commenting back? But, you know, you might see on my channel, for example, on some videos, I'll respond to 25, 30 people, and on others, I don't respond at all. It's not that I'm not reading them. Trust me, I do. That's literally like all of the fun of YouTube for me, is reading your guys' comments. I read all of them. But I'm trying to separate. I'm around my phone and computer all day long, and I have to draw the line somewhere for my own sanity and my own mental health. And so I try, but just know that things happen and sometimes you can't. And maybe it's just because you know what? I need a break. My eyes feel crossed. I've been looking at a screen all day, you know? But I get that. I think most YouTubers are doing their best. I don't think that anyone's doing it like, ha ha ha, I'm just gonna read and not respond. I think they're doing their best. It's just, it can be hard. And you're doing 10,000 other things at the same time. I remember when I was a smaller YouTuber or before I even started YouTube, I would comment and I never saw responses back. And the few times I did, I was like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? You fangirl a little bit. And so it is fun, and I get that. And this is an important one. This person said, the stereotype that all of the community is drama. You're just watching the wrong people. I hear this a lot. You choose who you watch. You are paying with your viewership. 100% you're paying with your viewership. If suddenly I had 0 views, I would suddenly be making no money, period. You're paying who you're watching. Think about it that way. And so if you genuinely don't like them, but you're still watching them, then you're doing it to yourself. Stop watching them. Or keep watching them, but you gotta shut up because you're the one that's saying you're so tired of it, but you're still supporting them. You know what I mean? So just something to think about. This person said, I question if a product is that great when most influencers sing its praises. Interesting. I feel the same way. I'm like, okay, well, obviously it was a new release, so many people are reviewing it or they got it in PR. But at the same time, sometimes products are just that good. And so if a lot of YouTubers got them at the same time and they all started trying them because it's new and they're all mentioning it in a favorites video or a review or whatever, and they all happen to like it, again, it's kind of like a 50-50 shot. Like in my head, I'm like, maybe it's really good. I think I want to try it. Or I'm like, well, maybe they're just liking it because they're trying to stay on there. And that's the world we live in. It's sad that you don't really know. And again, that goes back to make sure you're watching YouTubers that you feel like you can trust. Then you don't need to suddenly question, well, I know that 10 other YouTubers like it, so is it good? If you're watching someone you trust and they're saying they like it, they probably just like it. Not everyone is out there just to get a brand trip or whatever. And I just think a lot of YouTubers have had it with that kind of lifestyle, trying to get back to normalcy. Again, I think everyone on all ends is craving authenticity. I think creators are too. Ooh, this one's hitting close to home. This person said, I really don't enjoy vlogs or topics not related to beauty when I watch a beauty influencer. I think we need to take the term beauty influencer out of the equation for some people. I am moving away from being just a beauty influencer. I've made that very known that I'm doing beauty and lifestyle. So now obviously I didn't start out that way, but I'm trying to do this kind of transition really slowly because I'm always gonna talk about makeup. And like I've said before, in a given week, what I'm aiming for is 2 of the videos to be beauty related and 1 to be lifestyle, right? And then sometimes there's just a bonus video in there to make it a 4th for the week. So that's my balance, but that means I really don't consider myself a beauty influencer. I'm just a YouTuber. I don't know, like a lifestyle. I don't know what to call it really, but I think it's not fair. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is tricky because a lot of YouTubers are doing both because they're like, you know, and this is how I feel, I'm more than makeup and I care about more than makeup. I'm not a makeup artist. I started this when I was much, much younger and when I was really excited about makeup. And while I am still really excited, I have a pile of makeup over there. I'm like, it was so fun getting ready today. I love makeup. And so I'm always gonna have that on my channel, but I've grown as a person and that's why I'm branching out. And I know that a lot of you guys completely understand that. And so you maybe just watch my makeup one as you move on. And I really haven't heard a lot lately, but especially back before I'd kind of made the announcement-ish that I was kind of switching things up on my channel, people would be like, oh, Jessica, why are you doing so many non-beauty videos? And it's like, because that's what I want to do. And I'm still trying to please you guys because you're the reason I'm here. But at the end of the day, this is my job and my creative outlet and I can do what I want. And if I upload a vlog that you don't care about, just keep scrolling. It takes you no time. I didn't charge you any money. Like, just keep scrolling on past. There are plenty of YouTubers I watch that some of the videos I'm not interested in, so I just scroll past. You know, take it with a grain of salt because some of us, we just have grown and we're changing and it's healthy to change and morph. I don't want to just rest on my laurels and be content with the way I've been doing it for years. I want to switch things up to improve myself, to improve my channel, and to make things better. And I know that a lot of you guys have grown with me, and so a lot of you guys are in similar parts of your life. So overwhelmingly, people are saying brands are releasing way too much stuff. Limited edition, holiday releases coming out in July. Like, it doesn't even make sense. I know. And you know why they're doing it, because they know they can make a quick buck. It's a real quick, easy buck because people get excited by me too. Like, I'm already planning, because I haven't done one in years, doing some kind of like holiday limited editions video of like makeup that just seems exciting to me, that I want to try. I haven't done it in years because I felt overwhelmed by it too. But I think, you know, if you find one that you're like, oh my gosh, this like Christmas lipstick is so cute and I want to wear it in the winter, and you know, I still like that kind of a thing. It just makes me feel all twinkly, you know? I'm excited for the holidays, although really I'm more excited about fall. But I agree, it's just oversaturated. I think we all agree with that, and that it's just too much. There's so many releases. That's why I stopped getting most PR, because I personally was overwhelmed. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I want to be trying makeup I want to try. So I'd rather go out and spend my own money on things I actually want than have drawers and drawers and drawers of PR makeup. And I know that still rubs people the wrong way, but my perspective is very different at this point. It's not coming from a consumer, and I want to still be the consumer. I want to be the one deciding what's coming into my life, not, I don't want brands deciding what's coming into my life, what makeup I should be trying, what skincare is the next big thing that I need to be trying. I don't like that. So I'm gonna stop there, because honestly, these are so good. I could just keep going, but this video is so freaking long. But I hope this was enjoyable. I loved filming this. Thank you for dealing. I have a little broken baby nail, and it actually hurts. It was like broken, like legitimately broken, and thank you for bearing with me. I know I probably came across as holier than thou. I don't like that, but it's hard to do these videos without like me personally wanting to defend myself, and also sometimes wanting to defend other YouTubers that I know what they're going through. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I upload 3 to 4 times a week, beauty and lifestyle videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.